Something feels odd here. Be on your guard. I suppose if you're a lord going into hiding, a forest is one place to turn.
We don't know for sure she's here. Keep looking.
opponent like this should be easy.
Raging Cat
Dragon Swarm!
Mega Ray!
Can't get out of this!
Harsh Malevolence! Arcade Waterfall!
Dazzle! It's go time!
Searing Flame!
Dragon Swarm!
Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that!
Dragon Swarm!
Beckon into everlasting
Searing
darkness.
Flame!
Negative gate! Not a chance!
Raging
Resonate
Cat!
with the earth!
Alright!
Lunar
Mega
Rocket!
Ray!
I'm ready! Dragon Swarm! No! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! On your
Searing Flame!
knees! Not a chance!
Reload!
Pistol!
I'm out!
Air pressure! Dragon Swarm! You picked the wrong fight!
Just do it!
Dragon Swarm!
Stalagmite! So I still had room to grow. Discourteous, aren't you?
You're mine!
Searing armor! Dance in the wind!
I'll take you all on!
Here!
Destruction!
Get on in there with the others!
Water,
I'll stop
hear
its
my
charge!
call.
Thanks, Kisara!
Dragon Swarm!
Far enough! Glacial spear! Quit staring and concentrate on the fight.
I don't take orders
That
from
gun of
you!
yours is real handy in a pinch.
It takes a true marksman to use.
Well,
Here
can't think of anyone better than you, Shion.
Ghost you! Dragon
On
Swarm!
Freeze Lancer! Gemini!
I'm ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
For the hideout of a runaway lord, this place is a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Do you think she had it built with that in mind?
No. Personally, I think this used to be part of a Danon castle or fortress of some sort.
How can you tell?
For one thing, it doesn't look like a storehouse. For another, it's old and you can tell it was built to let people hole up inside of it.
Huh. I'll take your word for it. I don't know the first thing about brick. You know, I've always thought you were a smart little cookie, but damn, Rinwell, you really know your stuff.
It's no big deal. I've just read a lot of books is all.
If this is meant to be a castle, there wasn't much to it above ground. Are there such things as underground castles?
There probably used to be more of it above ground. That is, until 300 years ago.
So the main structure must have been lost during the time of the invasion, with only the underground part remaining. And then this lord decided to use it for her own purposes. Have I got that right?
But what reason could she have for using this place instead of staying back in her own castle?
That's what we're here to find out. Whatever it is, she's up to no good.
Right. It's all the more reason we need to hurry up and find her before it's too late.
Coming through!
You're mine!
Here I go!
Your armor won't save you!
You're mine! Wait, I got it!
Dragon Swarm!
Piercing orb! Glacial spear!
I can ensure you survive this!
Light astral energy!
Blind freaks! Why can't they just sit still?
Shion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
Dragon Swarm!
Burning
Can you take it?
Piercing
Can't get out of this!
Whoa! Hey, one at a time!
Dragon Swarm!
I'll stop its charge! Thanks,
We turn the
Kisara!
tables on it!
There are still more left! Theon, astral energy! Full throttle!
Certainly not bad.
No complaints here.
What's this thing?
Hi, Hoodle!
Dragon
If it's in the sky, it's mine! They're surrounding us!
Can you take
Dragon
it?
Anything in armor is
Air thrust! Far enough! There's no time!
Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm! It got flyers!
If I do. I've got this!
no
Let
armor
you handle it!
stop me!
All yours!
Arcane
It's on!
waterfall! I'm out of ammo! In here!
Dragon through! Ha! No! Scarlet Inferno!
Lightning!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
The waters of Blah, 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 magic! Lightning!
Sleep now.
A charge like that can easily be fatal.
Not to the...
Just as well,
You are
I'm here to
his
stop.
As soon as I'm done here, come help out.
How could a girl ever say no?
These little ones are hardly
I'm
worth
ready!
our time.
Still! Let's
This ends now!
consider yourself finished! They've really got us on the ropes.
Don't forget to heal your wounds.
This place is full of weird machinery, old and new. Just what the hell was she doing here?
By all appearances, sort of unsavory research she wouldn't want to see divulged.
Even to other Renans? That's a scary thought.
I won't forgive you!
Dragon Swarm! Regeneration! Dragon Swarm!
Hey, look.
It's
Now
over!
see that you don't get in trouble again.
Dragon Swarm!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a
the
job
enemy's
for
art,
yours to me.
truly.
No complaints here! Dragon
Those are
Swarm!
playing skills.
They took a lifetime to master.
Well, I'll have to keep training.
Our superiority was undeniable.
It feels invigorating to dominate a battle.
I was certain I saw you yawn.
Come now, I'm certainly not that relaxed.
This place goes pretty deep underground.
It was probably built that way so it could still be used, even if the above-ground portion got destroyed.
Perhaps that's why it's still here, and why it was made into her hideout. It would certainly stand to reason. It would appear we can descend down where the railing has fallen apart.
What? Are you serious?
By all appearances, it would seem she was researching something here.
You think so? What kind of research could she have been doing in a place like this?
Your guess is as good as mine. Hardly anything the likes of us could imagine.
If we assume it was because this area is rich in astral energy, then it's possible she could have been doing any number of things.
Indeed. Renan castles and spirit vessels are often found in such locations. Intriguingly, Danon ruins are also known for their abundant energy.
You Renans attacked us. Don't act like you're just some...
Sheesh, enough already. This isn't the place to pick a fight over this.
How can you be so calm listening to all of this? You suffered at the hands of guys like him too.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm calm.
Retreat if you know what's good for you.
Its armor won't save you!
Reload!
Will
this help? Lancer!
Resonate with the earth!
Healing circle!
Eat
Power
this!
surges through me.
Did you just heal me?
Yes. I need you, remember?
Right.
Now,
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
I'll bash in their defenses!
Glad you have your uses.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Remember!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got!
Well done!
Dragon Swarm! Grind you into dust!
Gemini Aqua!
Prepare to be seized, though fleet of foot. Actually, perhaps bound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing.
Resonate with the earth!
I'm on a roll!
On your knees!
You're most comfortable at a range.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
It's
go time!
Lunar corruption! Watch and Art expert!
Dragon Swarm!
Steering Raging Reload! Photon! Raging Cascade!
Negative
Steering
gate!
Flame!
Here I come!
My astral arts are coming along quite nicely.
Coming along? What do you want to do with them?
Oh, you know. Sprout flowers from the tip of my staff, suspended in midair.
So you want to be a street magician then?
This could be useful.
Hi, Hoodle!
You're mine! It's over!
Lunar corruption! Field! More
Begin!
You're
You're mine! Now you see what I can do! Rotating pile driver!
It's showtime!
Hey, that. Now see that you don't get in trouble again.
Be still! Mirage! Dragon Swarm! No armor! A new melody!
Remind me to stay on your good side.
I'm out of field!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Good! I'll leave it to you! Dragon Swarm!
Here I go! I'm only getting started! Sweet dreams!
I'm ready!
You're most comfortable at.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I need to be stronger.
Hey, look at that enemy!
This won't be easy.
In a
Don't be
bind?
such a pessimist!
Come one, come all!
Drinking orb!
Dragon Swarm!
Sealed!
Elusive Dita!
I'll be glacial this mind if I
Radiant
do!
light! Force of regeneration! Freaks!
Why can't they just sit still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
No
Take
sooner
this!
said than done.
It's over! I owe you one.
Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Radiant light!
Lunar Rondo! Damn it! It's too fast!
Stand back.
Leave the enemy charge to me!
No complaints here!
Glacial Spear.
Here's the eagle!
Dragon Swarm! Take this! It's over!
Negative gate!
Eat this!
Now!
Glimmer!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got!
Well done!
Dragon Swarm!
Now!
You're mine! I still got a ways to go!
I found some equipment.
Let me take a...
Look at it.
This will be a delicious piece of cake!
Glacial
Spear! This one's mine!
I'll face you.
I shall...
Can't be swirled!
Dragon Swarm! I'll grind you into dust!
Now!
You attack without mercy.
Because I can't afford to hesitate.
Not against a worthy opponent.
You're most comfortable at a range, aren't you?
I'm not really built for close quarters combat.
Nor am I.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Can't be swirled!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here's a healing arc!
Dragon Heat!
It's almost too strong.
Then I'll split it open! Be my guest!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kitara!
Swarm! I'm ready!
Power of water! That came from...
Our superiority was undeniable.
It feels invigorating to dominate a battle.
I was certain I saw you yawn.
Come now, I'm certainly not that relaxed.
Guess I misread the landing.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Resonate can't get out of this!
Lunar
Dragon
corruption!
Swarm!
Wind astral energy!
Mirage!
Negative
Dragon
hit!
Swarm!
On your knees.
Raging cascade!
Take this!
Harry!
You're mine! Dragon Swarm!
Glacial spear.
And here's one's mine!
Not today!
Let's get you all tucked
Dragon Swarm!
Now!
Oh! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Radiant light! Here! Shiny!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the pummeling to me!
This calls for a celebratory drink.
This will be a delicious piece of cake! Flame of fury! Burning! Confiscated! Art expert coming through! Spear! Piercing! I never miss!
Resonate with the
I'm ready!
Leave the chargers to me!
Searing flame! Lightning condemned!
You've got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Come and face me!
Here!
Lunar
Here!
Rocket!
Now watch him! This will come in handy!
blood, rending you a bloody...
I hear my call! Up and at it! Let's go!
Dragon Swarm!
Burning strike!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go. What's this? Thing.
Coming through!
You're mine!
Here I go.
I can carve through armor!
Only getting started. Gemini Aqua!
Here I come!
In here!
Not today!
Annihilation!
Can't get out of
More
this!
for the stockpile!
Take this! It's over!
Benediction light.
Dragon
It would
Form!
appear I attract too much attention.
Raging Storm! Alright, it's showtime!
No escape!
Just this ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
You're my
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Elusive
Dragon Form!
Tempest
Hitting
Whirl!
pile driver! Tornado drive!
Celestial Hammer!
Only rely on myself.
We turned the tables on him.
There are still more left.
Hold them up!
Right. No time to hold back.
Force of
Dragon
regeneration!
Form! Started!
Regeneration!
Ready and raring!
Glacial
Now I
Spear.
can let loose.
Pierce each.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
The true power of the blazing sword.
It's only as strong as the one who wields it.
You truly mean that? Thank you. Guess I misread the landing. There's nobody here. It's been nothing but Zeugles. No lords, no Renan forces.
They have to be holed up somewhere, right?
From the look of things, I don't think anybody's been here for a while. If anyone was here, they're long gone now.
That can't be.
Look out!
We'll figure this out later. Right now, this thing needs dealing with.
I don't understand. Did Zaphon lie?
He didn't seem the type to lead us on a wild goose chase.
Hey! Save your questions until after we manage to finish this thing!
Here I come! Move! You try harder!
The flashing parts their weak point. Burning
Burn it out! Dragon
This one's
Form!
mine.
Dance in the wind. Air thrust. Lunar corruption.
Dragon Form!
Gemini Aqua. Got it.
Dragon Form!
Now's our chance. Far enough.
Dragon Form!
In a bind?
Glacial Spear.
Your mother! I'm not done!
Freeze Lancer. Dance in the wind.
What?
I'm here. You all. All right.
Shattering to pieces!
Lunar corruption.
Okay, here I go! This one's all mine! Dragon Form!
Raging Storm.
Let's try harder! Dragon Form! Burn in hell!
Celestial Hammer.
Destruction!
There you go.
Dragon
Don't
Form!
let up.
Engulfs you! Tempest!
Searing flame. Re-leveling. Arcane fire. The flame of fury. Burning strike.
Here I come!
Hear my
Strike! Stop! Negative
Purge malevolence. Burning. This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Raging Cascade!
Dragon Form! On your knees! Beast!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Mirage!
Can't get out of this!
Dragon
A
Form!
thrilling performance.
I can carve through armor! Pearson!
Bathed in blood.
Rending now, while it's reeling!
Take it down! Raging
Dragon Form! Not today!
healing art!
Dragon Form!
The enemy is going
Leave
all
the
out!
ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and the pummeling to me!
Here I come!
Can you take it?
Hear my call!
You're finished!
Can you take it?
Dragon! Try harder!
It's about to strike!
Dragon Form! Look sharp, everyone!
Hey, now see that you don't get in trouble again.
Dragon Form!
I'll bring you back from death.
We've got him on the run!
Don't get cocky!
Right. Still anyone's fight.
More Sukals?
Keep calm and take them down! Water, hear my call! Ready to go! Deny!
Bloody howling!
Healing
I'll smash you! Dragon
Hey,
Form!
that...
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
I'm out! I'm on
Get
the
down!
Flawless flight! Annihilate!
Dragon Form!
Here, let me help.
Ignite!
First aid!
Dragon Form!
This one's mine!
Crescent Flash!
Scream, baby.
Well, I'm impressed. Do it!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes.
So much for finding the Lord. Come on, let's get back to Niaz.
Shion, calm down. This isn't like you. What's wrong? Talk to me.
It's none of your concern.
Even after everything we've been through together?
The two of us are only helping each other because our interests overlap, remember?
Are you serious? You helped me come to terms with Zephyr's death. You put your life on the line to save me. Don't tell me you did all that out of necessity. That it was only because we have a common goal. Fine.
Huh?
You don't want to answer? Then I'll do whatever I like from now on, too. Clearly, I'm just bothering you. So it doesn't matter if you tell me what's on your mind. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop looking out for you. Not now, not ever.
That's not fair. Why can't you just leave me alone? You don't know the first thing about me.
But I do. I know you care about the pain of others. You care, Shion. That's why I want to help.
Because of my thorns, I thought I had been doomed to a life of solitude. Until the day I died, I knew I would be alone.
And now?
The truth is, I'm trying to end my curse and get rid of my thorns.
Get rid of? There's a way to do that? Really?
I'm not completely sure. All I know is there's a chance. But that's the reason I need the Renis Alma.
The Renis Alma?
The Master Core to end all Master Cores. It is bestowed upon the winner of the Crown Contest, the new Sovereign, as proof of their victory. It must be assembled from all 5 Master Cores.
That's why taking down the Lords is so important to you. But Shion, you're not in this alone. If there's a chance we can rid you of your thorns, I'll be by your side the whole way.
That includes us, right?
Like it or not, you're going to have to get used to relying on us every now and then.
What kind of friends would we be otherwise?
Thank you.
Dahnan Liberation and the Renis Alma. Looks like we've got our work cut out for us. If we have any hope of finding this Lord and their Master Core, we start by heading back to Nias.
Man, who would have thought we'd ever get thanked by Shion?
Sounds like someone wants me to grab their arm.
I'm joking! Damn, you're scary sometimes.
Shion's not scary at all.
Alvin.
I'll just, leave you two alone.
I can't believe this. To think they would give us a bad lead like that. Where could that Lord actually be?
Beats me. That said, there's no point wandering around aimlessly trying to look for her. We should head back to Nias for now.
What's wrong, Kisara?
Oh, I was just thinking about what it meant for there to be castles here on Dana. People build castles to protect things that are important for one reason or another. But not simply that. They're also used to project a ruler's power.
So what you're saying is, even before the Renans invaded, the Dahnans were still being ruled over. It was just by other Dahnans.
That's most likely the case. Yeah. Though who knows how they led their people.
But after seeing Deadeye, I can't picture them being all that benevolent themselves.
What if it's in everyone's nature to rule over and control others? What are we supposed to do about that?
If it really is in our nature, then no. All that means is we have all the more reason to fight it. That's all there is to it.
We finally made it.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately? Good. This came out just the way I hoped.
About damn time. Took long enough.
But that's...
Right! I can't wait!
Head on over to the plaza.
What's going on? It seems busier here than before.
Hey, look! Isn't that Bayfon over there?
Ah, there you are. It seems I owe you all an apology. I'm guessing you didn't find the Lord back in the forest, did you?
No, but something tells me you already knew that.
That I did. Turns out I bit down on some bad intel when I should have known better. Apparently, Deadeye's not as trusting of me as I thought.
But why would he feed you bad intel?
My guess? He wanted me to lead you all astray. Make sure you weren't sniffing around where he didn't want you to be. While you were off in the forest, I got word that one of our squads captured the Lord. The place wasn't even close to where you were searching.
I see. Well, the important thing is that you finally caught her. Did you suffer many casualties?
You're not going to believe this, but she didn't even put up a fight. She had no escort either.
Well, what about her Master Core? Was it recovered?
Sorry. They only briefed me on the basics. For now, Deadeye's getting ready to make his victory speech out in the plaza. In the meantime, I've been ordered to set up a defense perimeter around the outside of the city, so I'll be out of town for a while. I imagine Deadeye will announce what he intends to do with the Lord during his speech. You'll have to let me know how it goes. Anyway, until next time.
A Renan Lord surrendering without a fight? Something doesn't add up here.
I'm afraid I can't say I know much of her lordship personally.
There's a lot about this that doesn't make sense. The Master Core is a concern too. Let's stick around like Bayfon suggested and see what happens. We don't leave until we get to the bottom of this. I'm worried about just what Deadeye has in store for Almeidrea. For now, let's wait at the inn until he gives his victory speech.
Everybody's so excited.
They can hardly be blamed when they've apprehended an enemy leader. That said,
Yeah. Isn't there some way to calm them down?
These must be the Danins the Darkwings freed.
Yeah. The city might be in ruins. The people have risen from the ashes.
This is the place Bayfon said Deadeye would reveal the Lord's fate. I wonder what he'll do to her.
Well... Is that...
yes. It's Lord Almeidrea Chineris.
Please stop! No good can come of such hatred! Stop or there'll be no turning back!
Is this supposed to be justice? Astral energy? Why now?
You don't think that...
The fruit of Helgen!
They just...
I did warn you, did I not? Nothing good can ever come of such nasty hatred.
I found you at last.
I swear it. I'll make you pay for what you did to my parents!
What do we have here? Could it really be the witch from Dana? Honestly, I thought I had wiped all of you out of existence back then. I guess there was one survivor after all.
Hey, Rinwell!
Shut up! This is the only thing that's keeping me going anymore. Stay out of my way or I'll kill you!
Rinwell.
I'll kill you. I swear it. I will kill you! What did you... Why are you defending her?
I'm not really sure, you know. But when I look into your eyes, I can't let you do it.
What about you? Are you not the one who got revenge for his father? Don't I deserve that as much as you? Move aside. If you don't, then I'll blast you again.
Even so, sorry. I'm afraid that I can't let you do that. No way. I can't let you kill her. Not while your face is full of the same hatred as those people who died.
You saw what she did. What are you saying? She should just get away with it all?
You're right. Rinwell. I don't know what I'm doing. But still, I know it's wrong. If you go through with this, I know you'll regret it. I'm sorry. I am. Forgive me.
I can't believe you. You, of all people. Of all the people! Why did you... Why, Ela?
Is your little show quite finished?
Why, you...
For many years of my life, I devoted myself to the study of astral arts. But the knowledge I took from your family was truly enlightening indeed. For that, you deserve a reward. I shall allow you to taste one of the fruits of my labor. Rearranging life and death to form new hellish compositions. That is what I do best. Now behold!
Law, I'm...
Sorry for almost blowing me up? Hey, not like it's the first time. Come on, we need to take her down.
Okay.
Take this!
Dragon Swarm!
Sleep now.
Shattering the pieces! Exploit the enemy's weakness.
Dragon Swarm!
Our arts are being interrupted.
Breaking storm! More where that came from!
Shine!
Raging
Dragon Swarm!
Regeneration!
Annihilation!
Regenerate!
Purge Malevolence! Arctic Waterfall!
Thank you.
Freeze Lancer!
Resonate
with the earth!
Here I come!
Lightning!
You picked the wrong fight!
Resonate with the earth!
I'm out back to my
Dragon Swarm!
Tempest Whirl! By the Celestial Hammer!
Dragon Swarm!
Searing Flame! Reload! Lightning Condemned! Radiant Thunder!
Dragon Swarm! I owe you. Try harder! Dragon Swarm!
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Take
shine! Radiant light!
Regeneration!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Dragon Swarm!
From death to bid!
Let us take this!
Dragon!
That tail's the problem.
Then let's focus there first.
Dragon
Wind
Swarm!
Astral Energy! Dance in the wind! Lightning!
Thanks!
In a bind!
More
Dragon
projectile! By the power of water! Raging storm!
Take this!
Hope this works! I'm out of ammo!
I am not beyond fury! On your knees!
Healing Raging
Here
storm!
I come!
Air pressure!
Dragon Swarm!
Bathed in blood! Rending you
Burn!
apart! Bloody
Dragon
outlet!
Swarm!
Behold! The earth pulse! Tectonic fission!
Glacial
I'll
Spear!
grind you into
Piercing
dust!
Eagle!
Try harder!
Freeze Lancer! Lightning
Dragon
Orb!
Swarm!
Raging Cascade! Heal you all!
Dragon Swarm!
In here!
Rending you
Dragon
apart!
Swarm!
Bloody howling!
A clean surge!
On your knees!
Hey, that...
I can carve through armor!
Annihilation! Mega Ray! By the
Dragon
power of
Swarm!
water! Take that! Far enough! One more! Purge Malevolence! Drop up, lad! Here's a healing art! Seal!
I owe you one.
More for the stockpile! Take it! You're mine!
Resonate with the earth!
More of
Dragon
that!
Swarm!
This one's mine!
Try harder!
Tunnel!
Radiant light! Force of
You picked the
regeneration!
wrong fight!
Spear! Pierce the eagle! A
Regenerate!
clean surge! Freeze Lancer!
Let us take to the fray!
I'm not feeling so great.
Gale from water! Dance in the wind!
Dragon Swarm!
Burning strike! Glacial Spear!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Sleep now! Lightning! More for the stockpile!
Dragon Swarm!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Radiant Spear!
Dragon! Changing tactics!
There's no telling what it'll do! Stay focused!
Armor won't save you!
Seminar Offload!
Nothing gets up!
By the power of
Shine!
water!
Radiant light!
Raging Storm!
Regenerate!
Glacial Spear!
Don't suffer another incantation ruin! Don't suffer in silence!
Dragon Swarm!
On your
Air
knees!
Thrust! Photon! Dance in the wind! Air Thrust!
Destruction!
Light Astral
It's
Energy!
on!
Can you take it?
Destruction!
I couldn't make it in time.
You picked the wrong fight!
Flight! Celestial
From
Hammer!
beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with life.
Dragon Swarm!
Resuscitation, ready and rare.
Here's the lightning condemned!
Radiant light.
This isn't looking good!
Regeneration.
Searing Flame! Tempest Whirl!
Regenerate.
Destruction!
Celestial
Scarlet Inferno!
Raging Cascade!
Force of regeneration!
I can't heal you forever!
I owe you one.
Waterfall! Lightning! Freeze! Downfall!
Destruction!
I'm out of air! Back into the fray!
Will this help?
Try harder!
Can you take it?
If it's in the sky, it's mine! Gale Force!
Destruction!
Where are you going?
Crush!
Take this!
Try harder!
Here's a healing arm! First aid!
Can you
take it? Catapult!
Crush!
Raging
It's
Cascade!
on!
There!
You picked the wrong fight!
Shattering death from the wind!
Attack dot!
Destruction!
Shine! Radiant light!
Not now, not ever!
Regenerate!
Destruction!
Raging Cascade!
Blue escape!
Armor won't save you!
Sleep now! I'm out of air! I'll be saving this one!
Elusive deity! Can you take it?
You're finished!
Lightning orb!
Tornado drive!
Destruction!
Death from the wind!
Air thrust! Pierce to the wind!
I'll try harder!
Air thrust! Light magic is there!
Elusive deity!
Destruction!
Mega Prime Raging Cascade! This one's mine! Charge the level! There! Arctic Waterfall!
Destruction!
I'll be saving this one!
Destruction!
Ready and ready!
Raising you apart! You picked the wrong fight!
In a bind?
Pierce evil! Handle!
Destruction! Crush! No! It can't end here!
Raging Storm! There! Celestial Hammer!
Seismic rupture!
Uplift Surge! Pierce! Ready to go! Here I go! Raging Storm! Mega Ray! By the power of water!
Elusive deity! Rotating pile driver!
Lunar Corruption! Lunar
Begin!
Rising Orb!
Elusive deity!
Rotating
pile driver!
Air Thrust! Radiant Pierce!
Tornado drive! I'm ready!
I'll bring you back! Lost! Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Is everyone all right?
Yeah. But Almeidrea got away. Linwell, are you...
What the hell happened here?
Bayfon, is that you? Thank goodness you're okay.
I've been outside the city this whole time, but I sensed a disturbance in the wind and decided to turn back. What happened here? Where is everybody?
Almeidrea's handiwork. She allowed herself to be captured so she could rile up the Danans into a frenzy and rob them of their astral energy. She wiped out almost everyone in the plaza, including Deadheim.
Deadheim's dead. Everyone. And the Darkwings. Almost all of our companions in the Resistance. How could this happen?
Regardless of what she had to gain, what kind of person would do something like that?
If she managed to find kinship in Kelzelik, then I'd say the very worst kind. It's clear now that she used Menancia as a testing ground for the fruits of Helgen, before using them here.
So everything that led up to this moment was all a part of her plan.
Once she knew they'd eaten enough tainted food, she just needed to get herself caught.
We have to go after her. Balseth and Ganabelt were horrible, but Almeidrea makes them look like saints. I doubt she's really gone back into hiding. We have to put an end to this once and for all.
Yeah, what she's done can't be forgiven.
I don't know what to do. I saw what hatred did to those people, but hating her is the only thing that's kept me going. I can't just stop hating her. What am I supposed to do? Tell me. Smile at her from across the battlefield? Apologize while we fight her? I don't know if I can do that.
Rinwell.
Nobody can understand what you've been through. We can't even begin to imagine the pain you've experienced. But if hate is what has kept you going ever since that day, then let it be your strength. However, think about this. When you've had your revenge, when we've beaten Almeidrea, then what will you do?
Huh?
I'm saying you're going to have to find a way to survive once that hatred is gone. When it is, what do you plan on doing then?
I don't know. I've never thought about it before.
Almeidrea's death doesn't have to be your end too. You need a reason to live, Rinwell, not an excuse to die. Understand?
She's right. We could never truly know the pain that Almeidrea has caused you. But I think you should listen to Shion. Give yourself time to consider things. And if it's too much right now, it's okay for you to sit this one out.
No. My head might be a mess right now, but I'm not letting you fight Almeidrea without me. I need to be there, please. That much I do know. I'm going with you. And on the road, I'll think about it. A reason to live, without hate.
That said, it'll be no good chasing after her blind with no idea where she went. Beifan, do you have any ideas where she might have gone?
I can't say for sure, but west of here is an underground harbor along a cliff near the coast. She spent years building a ship there, a floating fortress that she called her castle on the sea. No one quite knew why she wanted the thing, but now...
Of course. She's already effectively destroyed her own capital. It's likely she planned to abandon her realm as well.
Right. That's as good a lead as any. Let's go. What's that woman going to do next?
Nothing good, I'll bet.
We'll stop it this time.
I still can't believe what that Almeidrea did. Not only that, but she was enjoying it.
It's patently clear she has no respect for human life whatsoever.
We need to take her out. I don't think I've ever felt so enraged at another person in my whole life.
Yeah! There's no way she's getting away with this!
Then we head for the underground docks. We need to hurry. Rinwell, can you keep moving?
Yeah. My family and I, we spent all of our days just living in hiding. Until one day when we were found and attacked. I was the only one my dad and the others hid. That's the reason I survived. While the rest of my family was butchered. The only thing that I could see was the crest of a lord glowing through the smoke. And then...
It was Almeidrea who did it.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Rinwell.
That woman. Did she really find the existence of Dahnan mages to be that much of a threat?
Enough to invade another lord's territory? No, I doubt that. Most likely, she was after their knowledge and techniques. She only did it so she could become stronger. That's the kind of woman she is.
In retrospect, I do remember her making it sound like she created that monster she summoned.
A monster. I wonder, do you all think of me as a monster? Because I'm able to use magic even though I'm Dahnan?
Rinwell.
Of course we don't think you're a monster, you dummy.
Huh?
I might have had to hold you back, but it's her fault any of this ever happened, not yours. Got it?
Law.
We've reached our destination. I hope we catch something decent.
Indeed. Hungry bellies are counting on this.
We've reached our destination.
A dead end?
No, there's an elevator. Looks operational.
I can't believe there's actually an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see Danans. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almeidrea. You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn! So we missed her!
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be. Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there! You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
We're losing time. Sir, we're in your debt.
Now that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're all set and we'll set sail. This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Danans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Until then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
I know Mahavar said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat. I guess... Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almeidrea?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegus.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegus. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almeidrea did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almeidrea do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almeidrea resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
You don't look so good. You all right?
The floor. It keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almeidrea were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim?
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almeidrea did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Megal, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almeidrea, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almeidrea, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Sislodius Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadime. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almeidrea. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
But what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, and I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almeidrea when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Shion mad. I don't know, though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Shion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almeidrea's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cyslodia, the lush green glades of Menancia, the harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its lake of death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually manage to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere, too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Shion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can... Shion?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alvin.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almeidrea. I'll ask Mahavar.
Look who's up! Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
That's the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. Hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Good. Then let's find Almeidrea.
Xian, I want to thank you.
What brought this on?
What you said helped to calm me.
Don't mention it.
Now that's what I call a ship!
Yeah. The biggest one in all of Mahag Sar. So big that it took years to construct.
For all we know, Kelzelik may well have been smuggling materials to help build it. In which case it would be yet another mistake on my part.
We don't know that she was only getting materials from Menancia.
You think it's possible that they might have come from elsewhere too? Yeah, I guess I could see it.
But what do you think Almeidrea plans to do from here on out, now that she's abandoned her realm and sailed out to sea?
She'll be filling her coffers with gold, most likely. Then she'll sit back and enjoy the show as the other lords duke it out. Or something to that effect, at least.
I wouldn't put it past her.
She's strong, yet shrewd, and will stoop to any low. A dangerous one indeed.
She's not the first, and she won't be the last. This is a lord we're talking about, remember?
Sounds like you've made up your mind already.
There was never anything to decide. No one who can smile like that while doing what she did deserves to roam free.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
This might not be the best time, but if you have a minute. That mask of yours, it was shattered by a blow from Balsef when you fought back in Calaglia, correct?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I thought it was a goner.
Balsef's brute strength was in a league all its own, yet half the mask remains. It's remarkably durable. Too durable to be Danon in origin.
Shion said the same thing. As if the fact I was wearing it meant there had to be more to me than met the eye.
You recalled your name when the mask broke, I hear.
Yeah, that's right. Although to tell you the truth, I'm a little scared what might happen when I lose the remaining half. Then again, the idea of not doing something because I'm afraid scares me even more. That's why I go on fighting.
Only he who first faces the night catches a glimpse of the dawn.
Come again?
It's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Bring him down! Dragon form! Begin! Destruction!
That may prove a thorn on our side.
Engaging! Fire support!
A new melody!
Dragon swarm!
I never miss! Do it! Sword! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the tumbling to me!
You're on!
Ready to go! Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more!
We can really make weapons with this?
I won't forgive you!
Dragon swarm! Oh my lord! Here I come!
Blood.
No! You want my shield?
Tell me, have you ever considered your purpose in life?
I see one, eh?
Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Piss off!
Thunder Fever! Radiant Pierce!
We can really make weapons with this?
Got it! That went well.
Are you okay? You're not too tired, are you?
Nope, I'm fine. Let's keep moving.
No choice! Dragon swarm!
Can't get out of this!
Reload!
Dragon swarm!
Now!
Dueling! In an instant! Impact block!
Here I go!
Dragon swarm!
You're mine! Can't slow! Now!
Negative
Go! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go. We're not ready!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I think you won't!
Dragon! It's almost too strong!
Split it open!
Be my guest! I owe you one!
Astral energy! Radiant
Begin!
field!
Take this! Dragon catapult!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion. Gotta break through! Locked and loaded! Dragon this!
Graviton
Dragon
field!
away!
Mega ray!
I'll bash you! My field!
Celestial!
We're not finished! Not today! Dragon Swarm!
Do it!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix
Cyclone!
Dance in the wind! Lunar
Take that!
persistence!
Locking you up! Bloody Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Looks like we got them all.
Let's see what you've got.
Now you'll learn!
Is it too late to talk over our differences?
You got damage, baby! Dragon Swarm!
Take this! Wind astral energy! More with that lunar corruption!
I'm ready! In an instant! Impact Block! Dragon
Take
Swarm!
the again! Graviton field!
Here I
I'll
come!
be saving this
You're
one!
finished!
Bathed in blood.
Can't
We're
finish
not
it
doing
yet!
hot!
More
Dragon
wind!
Swarm!
Do it!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Seems about right to me.
Retreat if you know what's good for you.
Thank you! My shield!
Not in your dreams!
Mirage! Dragon Swarm!
Mega ray!
We're not finished!
Raging storm! More with that!
Dance on the wind.
Dragon Swarm!
I'm only getting
Elusive deity.
I have no limits! Take this!
Elusive
Raging
deity.
cascade!
Nicely done.
Little help! Glacier spear! Here's evil, Tempest! Freeze Lancer!
Dragon Swarm!
Lightning condense! Radiant Flood! Here!
Here I come! You're finished!
Flame!
Damn it, baby! Dragon Swarm!
Glacier spear! Here's
You
evil!
did it! My turn!
Freeze Lancer!
Let me free
Here's a
you.
heal force! More remains!
A new melody.
Raging
Dragon Swarm!
cascade!
Dragon Swarm!
Radiant spear!
Crush! Catapult! Destruction! On your
Here's
knees!
evil!
Crush!
Raging cascade!
Destruction!
Sweep now! Burning!
Elusive deity.
Glacier spear!
Crush!
Here's evil!
Dragon Swarm!
Freeze Lancer!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Water! Here we go!
Dragon Swarm!
More where that came from!
Begin.
Flawless fight! Burning!
Come back, will ya?
Spear! Here's evil!
Destruction!
Here's Freeze Lancer!
Negative gate.
Dance in the wind!
Take this!
On here!
bloody holiday!
Take this! You picked the wrong fight! You won't make a fool of me!
Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
I'm ready for the next battle.
Never seen anything like it.
It's an authentication key. They're quite common.
Maybe where you're from. This is new to me.
It might go in an elevator somewhere. We should test it out.
What's with that shining foe over there?
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! Dragon Swarm!
I never miss!
Elusive
Not
deity!
in your dreams!
Rotating
Now!
fire driver!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Glacial Spear!
Resonate with the
Dragon
earth!
Swarm!
Raging Storm!
Got fire!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle!
Oh no!
Now!
In an instant! Impact block!
Searing flame!
The enemy wields arcs too.
You'll soon see... Puddle!
I've been doing really great lately.
Let's see what you've got.
Dragon Swarm! Now you'll learn!
Waterfall!
Dragon Swarm!
Sleep now! Downfall!
Damn it!
All mine!
Dragon Swarm!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
You're mine!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Lightning!
Dragon
I'm out!
Dragon
Here
Swarm!
comes aid!
Eat this!
Malevolent!
Elusive deity!
Waterfall!
A debut
Dragon
performance!
Swarm!
Eagle Ray!
I'll be saving this one! Lightning to death! By the power of the way!
Destruction!
Now ready!
On your
I never miss! Go
Dragon
fast!
Swarm!
air pressure!
Here's a healing art! First aid!
Dragon Swarm!
Gale Force! Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Dragon Swarm!
No further!
Freeze Lancer! Lightning! Raging
Everlasting
Cascade!
darkness!
Reload! Field!
Negative gate! Resonate with the earth!
Lightning
It's all
Condense!
right!
Dragon Swarm!
Glacial Spear!
Let me
Here's
free you
evil!
of your power!
Dragon
Go
Swarm!
Lancer! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Downfall!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
You won't get away with that! Back into the fray!
Not today!
Mega Ray!
Soul with life!
Dragon Swarm!
Here, let me help!
Resuscitation!
First aid!
I owe you one.
I've still got some fight left in me. Into
You're
the
mine!
shadows!
You're finished!
Take it now.
An actual...
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
Glacial Spear. Here's evil.
Dragon Swarm!
Scream fade.
Lightning
Shattering
Orb.
to pieces!
Bloody
Everlasting darkness! Negative gate!
Hey, that. Where are you going? Here goes.
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
That'll teach us for getting cocky. Oh, this looks nice and tough.
This'll make us even more formidable.
through!
Nothing gets by me!
Lunar corruption!
Mirage!
Radiant
Dragon
storm!
Swarm!
Hit! Ice prison!
Now or never.
Lunar corruption!
It's
By
over!
the power of water! Hit! Lightning! Go down! Lightning condemned! Thunderblast!
It's on!
Take this!
Dragon
Look
Swarm!
here!
Lightning thrust!
Mirage!
Can you take it? Dragon Swarm! I'm ready! Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
The waters of creation
Lunar
magic
Rondo!
is in!
Can you take it?
Incredible!
You're mine!
Do it!
Dragon Swarm!
Don't get careless.
These don't seem like your run-of-the-mill Zeugles the Renants usually keep around.
Indeed. I believe it's safe to assume these were used in her experiments.
They certainly look as twisted as her.
Even here. This is...
I remember seeing instruments just like this back in Estaluva Forest.
It looks and smells like some kind of medicine.
Whatever this place was used for, I doubt it was anything of repute.
Little help!
On my lord! You put
Shadow Dream!
Rending you apart!
Dragon Swarm! We're not finished!
Fine, do it! Why can't they just sit still?
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Water, hear my call!
Seismic
Hit!
rupture!
Lightning
Try
condemned!
harder!
Deity!
Thunderblast!
Begin!
Dragon Swarm!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil! I never miss! Lightning Energy! Purge Malevolent! By the power of
See what I can do!
Dragon Swarm!
I'll be saving this one!
A scream fades to blood.
Dragon Swarm! Here I come!
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Take this! Clock back, will ya? Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm!
Astral Dance in the wind!
Ignite! You won't make a fool of Dragon Swarm!
No further!
Photon Flash!
I'll
Radiant
give you
Cascade!
respect!
By the power of fear!
I'm ready!
I'll be
Kisara!
saving
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Could have been worse.
Do you sense...
What is that huge flower-looking thing up there? Is that the ship's engine?
Indubitably. As one might expect, large ships require large engines in order to sail.
And if we destroyed it?
We might well sink the ship. Who knows if we would be able to escape before that happens.
Almeidrea sure has been busy since the contest began.
This isn't Almeidrea's doing.
You mean she didn't build this?
The body, yes. However, my guess is that the engine comes from a starship.
A starship? As in one of those vessels used to go to and from Lenegis?
Correct. The technology employed on Lenegis and in starships is more advanced than anything in our daily lives. Almeidrea may be resourceful, but she could never produce an engine like this on her own.
You mean to tell me we've got even bigger enemies waiting for us up in the sky? Ugh, my head hurts just thinking about it.
Don't worry about that for now. Just focus on taking care of Almeidrea.
Little help!
Now you'll learn!
Dragon Swirl! You're mine! River! Razor Cyclone!
Take this!
Dragon Radiant Storm! Thunderblade!
Damn it! Dragon Swarm!
Healing Circle!
I owe you one. Dragon Swarm!
Radiant Aura! Wind Astral Energy!
Deity! Can you take it?
Watch and weep! Tempest Whirl! Flight!
Dragon Swarm!
Bathed in blood, rending you apart! Bloody hell!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion. Gotta break through!
You got spirit!
You're mine! Dragon Swarm!
More where that came from!
Burn!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Lightning!
Dragon
Downfall!
Its armor's too strong!
It'll split it up!
Be my guest!
Downfall! Back into the fray!
I'm ready!
Lightning
Totally!
Storm!
In an instant! Impact Claw!
I'm pretty worn out.
Wanna rest up for a bit?
Let's see what you've got.
Dragon Swarm! Stop them! Dragon Swarm!
Raging Cascade!
Dragon Swarm!
Seal! More of the Hellfire! Here goes! More where that came from!
Take this!
Lunar Corruption!
Damn it! I'm ready! Too back!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Mega Ray!
Dragon
Take
Swarm!
Raging Orb!
Rending you apart!
Here it goes!
You're on! Dragon Swarm!
Burning Strike!
Anything in armor is all
Raging
mine!
Cascade! Radiant Look here! Sleep now! I'm out of ammo!
Take this!
I'll be saving this one!
I'll
face you! You're mine!
An astral arch?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Lightning
Dragon
Orb!
Swarm!
More where that came from!
Not today!
Dragon
Dragon Swarm!
Air Thrust! Here, let me help! Light Astral Energy!
I'll teach you respect!
Destruction! Here I
Lightning
come!
Orb! Here! Dance in the wind!
Glacial
Air
Spear.
Thrust!
Take this!
Light Dance in the wind! Air Thrust! I never miss!
It's over!
I drink I'm out!
Dragon Swarm!
Arcade Downfall! Mega Ray!
I'm ready!
Annihilate!
In an instant! Impact Claw!
I don't think I'm going to be able to do any more healing for now.
Thus our strength. yet grows.
An opponent like this should be easy.
My lord! Through armor! My shield?
Negative gate! Raging storm! Celestial!
We're not finished!
Now! Graviton sphere!
Lightning thrust!
Air pressure! Into the shadows!
We've been snaring to me.
Yeah! Now! Astral energy!
Say no more.
Seems about right to me.
You're saying we should check the Owl Forest?
Out of our way!
I'm not done!
Ignite!
Take damage!
Tempest Swirl!
Dragon Swarm!
Blaster!
Damn it! Damage! You're on!
Dragon ready! Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! Dragon Swarm!
Resonate with the
I'm
earth!
only getting started!
Lightning Scream!
You're on!
Dragon
Dragon Swarm!
Raging Storm! More Flame of Fury! Celestial Runner! Ice Prison!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well... Look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Go no further!
Bring him down! Take this! On your knees! Strike! Destruction! Dragon Swarm! I'm ready! Abort! Dragon Swarm! This one's all mine! Resonate with the Swarm! We're not finished!
Now! Astral energy!
Say no more. Onward and upward. What's this thing?
Out of our way!
You're mine!
No further!
Dragon Swarm! Catapult!
Raging Storm!
Destruction!
Gemini
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! Dragon Swarm!
in the wind! I'm only getting air thrust!
Negative
Light Astral Punch!
You're
Your
on!
magic is in!
It's over!
Freeze Land! Now!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Showtime!
Got you now! Damn it!
Water! Here's the wind!
Damn it, Medic! Destruction! Dragon
I'm
Sword!
ready! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here's a healing art! In here!
Dragon Sword!
Negative gate!
Crush!
More with that
Destruction!
bullseye!
Air pressure!
Destruction! Dragon Swarm!
Another incantation ruined.
I never miss!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Water astral!
Any more they shall all burn out!
Reload!
Dragon Swarm!
Field! Take
Armor won't save you!
I'll heal you all!
You're finished!
Can't get out of this!
Healing circle!
This isn't looking good.
Far enough! Annihilation!
Seismic Rupture! Dragon
Dance in the
Swarm!
wind!
Lunar corruption! Radiant storm!
You picked the wrong fight!
Power of
You're
water!
mine! You're finished!
Gemini Aqua!
Elusive deity!
Dragon Swarm!
Soaring blast! Eagle
Come
ray!
back, will ya?
Into the storm!
Resonate with the earth!
I'll stop its charge! Thanks,
I
Kisara!
have no limits! Try harder! Now! Here I come!
Gemini Aqua! Annihilation!
I'm not feeling so great. Drug
Shattering of pieces!
coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
In the sky is mine! Prepare for the flame of fury!
Try harder!
Water, hear my call!
You're mine!
Spread! Gale
The enemy wields
Not
arts
on my
too.
watch. You'll soon see about that! This one's mine!
Radiant light! Force of regeneration! I'm ready!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Here's a healing arc! Photon blast! Lightning condenser!
I couldn't make it in time.
Take this!
On your knees! Can you take it? Try this!
Catapult!
Try harder! Dragon Swarm!
Raging storm!
Not today!
Celestial
Dragon
River!
Swarm!
Ice prison! Lunar corruption!
Heal!
Now! Gemini off! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I felt better, that's for sure.
She sure spared no expense on her castle.
This must be...
The captain's quarters. The presence of the spirit vessel and the sheer extravagance on display can leave no doubt.
There's no one here.
Yeah, but I doubt she's out for a moonlight stroll. You think she jumped ship and ran away again?
I doubt it. The conniving witch is probably up to something.
Agreed. In any case, as long as she hasn't suddenly sprouted wings, she has to be somewhere on the ship. Let's keep looking. The way this key's been placed, it's like she's daring us to come find her.
Yeah, like it's all some damn game to her.
What's wrong, sweetie? Is something scaring you?
Maybe he just doesn't like being in her room.
I think there's more to it than that. What could it be?
this the ship's cargo? What a pain. I can't see anything past all this stuff.
Be on your guard. For all we know, there could be something hiding around here. What's this thing?
Let's see what you've got.
Oh, my lord!
In a bind?
Raging Fire! Mega Ray! Celestial Banner!
Shine!
Ice
Damn it,
Force!
Bennett!
Regenerate!
I owe you one.
Condemned! Astral Energy!
Say no more.
Searing Flame!
Dragon
Too strong. Be my guest.
Searing Flame! Revenge in the wind! Out of ammo! I'm ready!
Destruction!
Mega Ray! More for the stockpile!
I've used a bit too much healing. Lost!
I see one, eh?
Reload! Lightning Storm! Raging Cascade!
Ignite!
Dragon Storm!
Damn it, Bennett!
Healing Cycle!
I'm ready! Remote!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
I'm all stuffed up!
Dragon Storm! Loaded! Teleport! Lightning
Lightning Orb!
I'm pretty worn out.
Want to rest up for a bit?
I won't forgive you!
Dragon Swarm!
Primed and ready! Here goes! Graviton Field!
Dance on the wind!
Mega Ray! These are a real pain in the butt!
Rending you apart!
This one's mine!
Exploit the enemy's weakness!
Gale Force! Searing Flame!
Your art of being interrupted!
Annihilate!
Can you take it?
Raging Cascade!
Take
Dragon
it!
Flame of Fury! In here! Water!
blood.
Here's my
Rending you
blood!
apart!
Red!
Bloody
Mirage!
Here's the healing away! First
Luna
aid!
Rongo! Mirage!
I'll grind you into
Mega
dust!
Ray!
Dragon Swarm! Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Lightning Orb!
Burn!
Raging Cascade! Field!
Can't get out of this!
Dragon Swarm!
More for the stockpile! Mega
Dragon
Ray!
Swarm!
Elusive
Wing
field!
Astral Energy!
Dragon
I'll save you!
Gemini Aqua!
On your knees!
Raging Storm! Mega Ray!
Air pressure!
Dragon
Lightning Orb! I can't do this forever!
Bloody howling!
Primed and ready! Dance in the
Try
wind!
harder!
Air cover the caster!
Dragon Swarm!
Dance in the wind! In here!
Dragon Swarm!
More for the stockpile!
Not today!
Downfall!
Dragon Swarm!
Glacial Field! This one's mine! More where that came from!
Resonate with the earth!
Try harder! Dragon
now.
Dragon
More for the
Swarm!
stockpile!
Glacial Spear!
Energy! Freeze-Blade!
They smite with
Dragon
flaming
Swarm!
blade!
Try harder!
Freeze-Blade!
Dragon
One
Swarm!
dance in the wind! Radiant air!
Leap
Another
Hold nothing
Astral
back!
Energy!
Resonate with the
Now!
earth!
Dueling! In an instant! Impact Claw!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Did that get rid of the barrier?
We'll just have to go back and check.
If Almeidrea's not in her own room, just where the hell is she?
It's possible she may be on the bridge, but I would guess that she's waiting for us elsewhere on the ship.
Which means she's most likely chosen a place where she'll have the advantage in a fight.
Be careful, guys. I came from an entire family of Danon mages, and that woman murdered all of them. All on her own. I hate to say it, but she's an incredibly powerful astral artist.
We already know she specializes in controlling wind astral energy. But on top of that, she might try to sick that monster on us again, too.
Right. To that woman, life itself is just a toy for her to play with. Let's make sure we put an end to it. Well, we've only one last place to look. Straight ahead.
Almeidrea.
There she is! Almeidrea!
But all alone? Watch yourselves. She's probably planning something.
I was getting rather tired of waiting around. Oh my, and I see you came along as well, Danon Witch.
Almeidrea.
What's this? I thought you couldn't stand the sight of me. Go on, little one. Show me the full force of that hatred of yours. Otherwise, run and hide like a rat you are.
That's enough! How can you smile while causing pain to so many others?
That is the way of those who possess great power. The very way we Renans live by. Those with power set the example, and those without it are forced to obey. Though you two seem to have forgotten that's the way these things work.
And you really think that justifies your actions? You turned all those people into a hollowed sea!
What foolishness. It's only natural that the fate of a slave differ from that of its owner. Very well, I admit I did fan the flames just a tad back in Mace. But it wouldn't have mattered in the slightest if there hadn't been a spark to ignite. Without it, my actions would have been fruitless. Ultimately, it was their very own burning hatred that laid them to waste. To say it was all my fault is simply laying blame at the wrong feet.
No one's perfect. We all have darkness in our hearts. But the atrocities that you've committed, they're unthinkable! Your heart is nothing but darkness!
What a fool! To think time and time again you would challenge Renan authority without so much as an inkling of how things actually work. Such ignorance is why your kind has been enslaved for 300 years.
Almeidrea.
Well, if it isn't Lord Dohalim.
These people are my allies and friends. I won't let you insult them so.
My, what a shock. I never would have expected you to claim mere slaves as your companions. If I didn't know any better, I would question your noble lineage. Oh, how far the mighty have fallen. A traitor such as yourself hardly deserves to be called a lord.
You are nothing compared to Dohalim.
Rinwell.
He would never stand by and laugh. His people hollowed!
Ha! What does it matter? You're descended from those who allowed the power and knowledge entrusted to them to wither away. Your pitiful family may have feared it, but I do not. That knowledge and power is all mine to command. And now, you will witness what that power's truly capable of! Mesmold! Enjoy your meal! Such sad eyes, child. Let me reunite you with your parents.
Shut up! I'm gonna take you down if it's the very last thing I do!
That's right. Loathe me. Every step brings you closer to being me!
You're wrong! You're wrong! I'm nothing like you!
No further!
Magic is there! Here's evil!
I'll smash you!
Sleep now! Freeze Lancer! I'll be saving this one!
You're on!
Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Everlasting jump!
Freeze Lancer!
Negative gate!
Will this help? This one's mine! Healing Circle!
I can only rely on myself.
Try it!
Scum! Dragon
Into the
Form!
fray!
This is looking good!
Mine.
Dragon Form! Can't move!
couldn't make it in time.
Thank you.
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Annihilate! Light aspect! Thunderblade!
Not done yet!
Cover the captors! It's over!
Dragon armor won't save you! I owe you one.
Raging storm!
Dragon swarm!
Dodge shield runner! Here's a healing art!
Captivity!
Light astral energy! I'm only getting started!
Dragon swarm!
Light astral energy!
Tempting! Dragon swarm!
Look here!
Be still!
Know your
Wrong!
Healing storm!
Take this! Dragon swarm!
Hey, that...
No further!
Thank you.
I'm all stocked up! Wind
This
astral
one's all
energy!
mine!
Dragon! What? Reflect on thy sin.
Arctic waterfall!
Take this!
Freeze lance! Mega ray! Dance in the wind!
Resonate with the earth! Here I come!
Ride for me! Raging storm! Solar blaster!
Dragon swarm!
Lunar blast!
I'll grind you into dust! Crescent flash!
Dance in the wind!
On your knees!
I'm only getting started!
You picked the
This
wrong
one's
fight!
mine! Here
I come!
Here's a healing art!
What's she doing now?
She's infusing her beast with more power!
Get ready!
Take this!
Seismic rupture!
Dragon swarm!
This is some punishment.
You'll pay for that! Dragon swarm!
I'll bring you back from death to death!
Destruction!
You're brimming with hatred.
Destruction! Dragon swarm!
Counter corruption!
Go!
Chinese supernova! Forward fray! Mega ray from lightning!
It's on!
Light astral
Dragon
energy!
swarm!
Purge malevolence!
For me! I'll grind you into dust!
Dragon swarm!
Healing field!
I'm in your debt.
More lunar corruption!
Taking pile driver!
Photon by the power!
Ignite!
More with that
Stay
from
away!
Take this!
Begin!
Smash you!
Annihilate in the wind!
Take this!
Does it hurt?
Dragon swarm!
Now or never. They smite.
Raging cascade! Sleep now! I'll be saving this one! Arc to the shadow! Field! Radiant! Here! I'll be saving this one!
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Lightning! Downfall! I'm out of ammo! I'm all stopped up!
No further.
Leave the charges
Mega
to
ray!
me!
Lightning! Dance in the wind!
They're attacking separately! I can't land a hit on her!
Keep an eye on her, and take out the monster first.
Not in your dreams!
Dragon swarm!
She's no stranger to astral arts.
I can take care of that!
Yeah! Take it away!
Benediction light.
I'll bring you... Back from death to Purge malevolence! Arctic waterfall! Freeze land! Lightning!
Dragon!
Now you see what I can do!
You forgive me. This is my fault. From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with life.
Annihilation!
Resuscitation.
Mega ray! By the power of the fight left in me!
You will suffer.
Not today!
Thunder field!
It's in your hands now.
Light astral lightning condemned! By the power of Thunder blade!
Behold my
Dragon
true
swarm!
power!
Gale force!
That looks bad.
Wits about you, people!
Wind astral energy!
This should do it!
Purge malevolence! Arctic waterfall ready!
The winds of judgment blow your way! Fall before impending calamity!
Destruction!
Chaotic
Dragon
disaster!
swarm!
So that's the trick up her sleeve.
Your astral arts aren't so special. And now, they're mine! Crossblade! Dance in the
Dragon!
wind!
Dragon
Here.
swarm!
Captain Swirl! Forward lightning from Lunar corrupt lightning raging energy! Dance in the wind!
No further.
Dragon
Here's
swarm!
a healing art! More
Try
of the
harder!
South
It's
Side.
on!
Let me have
No.
malevolence!
Can't end here!
From
beyond. Imbue this vanquished soul with life. I've used too much.
Sleep now.
Benediction
I
light.
owe you
Dazzle!
Can't be happening!
Dragon Swarm!
Ready to go! Crush them! First aid! Better! Here I go!
Lightning charge!
Dragon Swarm!
Arctic Waterfall!
This one's all mine! Eat
Freeze
this!
Lancer!
I
Dance
can
in the
carve
wind!
through
Burning
armor!
strike!
Denied!
Dragon Swarm!
Bronze and red!
Crush! Dragon Swarm!
I never miss! Lightning
You
and
will suffer!
Thunderblade! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning
Dragon Swarm!
Here goes! Here's the evil!
Dragon
Light
Swarm!
astral energy! Lancer!
Behold my Her Master Core!
Not while I'm around, she isn't!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
Destruction!
Rise up and take
Ridwell!
I'll never forgive you!
What?
I'll take you down! You don't scare me!
From death's abyss!
Dragon! Go for it, Rinwell!
Hit her now!
Dragon
Lightning
Swarm!
orb!
You picked the wrong fight!
Here, let me help!
Dragon Swarm! I owe you one!
Blah, 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 that's it!
Here I go!
Dragon
Anything in
Swarm!
the
Tempest!
Here, let me help!
I'll end you! Astral energy!
Say no more!
You murdered my mother and father. But I'm not like you.
Rinwell.
Even now, I hate you. But here I am, unable to let go. Honestly, even if I took my hatred out on you here and now, it wouldn't make me feel any better in the long run. I realize that now. So, I won't kill you. I'll take you in and make damn sure justice is served the right way.
You would dare mock me with your foolish, useless pity? A Danon, nothing more than a mere slave. I won't allow you to.
It's not about what you think. Or being Danon or Renan. Because you'll atone for the crimes you committed. And that's all.
It's that swordsman again!
Oh, Lord Volron, what brings you here? No, forgive me. I've forgotten myself. Please allow me to make it up to you, my lord.
Silence now, wretched snake. Does it hurt? It should. That pain is proof you're still alive. Enjoy it.
Volron. Years ago, the Lord of Ganeth Haros met a sudden death. His successor was a man by that very name, Volron.
And like a restless lover, I've come back for more. Stop right there!
doing?
Let go of me! Let me go!
Xion!
Alvin!
Xion!
Alvin!
Come and find me, if you truly are the Sovereign. After all this time, I'll be free from this hell. I can finally go home. I doubt I'll ever see this place again. Might as well walk the block once more for old time's sake. As usual, nobody wants to explain anything to me. They just threaten and harass me instead. What does everyone think I am? Some sort of talking pet? They're the ones that dragged me all the way up here in the first place. Bastards. I shouldn't have bothered coming out. Might as well head back to my room. I just wanted to go back. To Dana. To my home.
Alphen.
Leori.
Live for me.
No. Leori. No! Wait, please. Wait, I... What was that? That... How long ago was that? That's right. Shion. Right. That's what pain felt like. So much for it all being a bad dream. Where am I? Where is everyone? I need to find them. Better start looking. Yuri. Shion. Damn it. Here I come! Dragon Swarm! Destruction! Crush! Dragon Swarm! Crush! Destruction! Crush! Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm! This one's all mine! Destruction! Dragon Swarm! Destruction! Dragon Swarm! Destruction! Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm! Eat dirt! Dragon Swarm! There! Try harder! Dragon Swarm! Crush! Destruction! Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm!
Alvin?
Finwell!
What happened just now? Normally you'd be able to take that thing with your eyes closed.
Thank goodness you're alive. Are you all right?
Yeah.
I'm just glad we found you in one piece. You were the only one still missing. There's a village back the way we came from, Thistleim. Kisara and La are already there.
Finwell, where are we?
Ganeth Harros, Volron's realm. Remember?
Ushered by the waves straight to the enemy stronghold. A rare stroke of luck, it would seem.
Luck?
If Volron's here, that means Shion's close too, right?
Shion? Oh. Right. Of course.
Are you sure you're feeling okay? You seem a little off.
He's probably just exhausted. Let's save the catching up for when we're back at the village.
I think Huro senses an owl around here. Speaking of Thistleum, it's populated by Danans, but they're not under the rule of any lord. Pretty refreshing, huh? The whole town was built by Danan defectors, escapees from elsewhere. This area's teeming with stray Zeugles, though, so heaven only knows how they managed to set up a community here. The ordeal seems to have left them understandably on edge. Kisara and La are back there right now trying to convince them of our good intentions. Say, Alphen, it looks like you got your face back then.
Yeah.
And your sense of pain, too, it would seem. Any connection?
Really? Oh, but that means...
Probably.
I wonder if Alphen's going to be okay.
For now, I believe we should hold off on speculation and simply keep an eye on him.
Right. You're saying we should check the Owl Forest? Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?
Alphen! Boy, am I glad to see you safe.
Well, did you manage to convince them we're not in league with any lord?
Yeah, eventually.
When the ship sank, I thought we were done for. Guess the world just couldn't keep us apart.
Yeah, and now we can finally go rescue Xion.
There's something I need to tell you guys first. I got my memory back.
So, what did you remember? Are you able to tell us now?
Give the man some space, Law.
I remember being up on Lenegus.
Go on.
I was abducted from Dana. I was told if I ever wanted to return home, I'd have to cooperate. So that's what I did. Next thing I knew, they had made me into the Sovereign.
You mean to say you won the crown contest? As a Danan?
No. They kept me locked in a strange facility. They experimented on me, like I was nothing more than an animal. There were others, but only I survived. Of course, I wasn't really a king. The reality was that they treated me worse even than the lowest slave. The only reason I survived was because my body was able to withstand the Sovereign's power that they placed inside me.
The crest that appeared behind you on Almeidrea's ship must have undoubtedly been that of the Sovereign. It all makes sense now. Your affinity with the Blazing Sword, the strange powers you possess, they were all because you were the Sovereign.
Okay, but why would the Renans go out of their way to give you all that power? Just what exactly does being the Sovereign entail?
They said it was for something called the Spirit Channeling Ceremony. They taught me how to harness my power for when the big day came. As for what the ceremony was actually for, unfortunately, I never found out.
So if what you're saying about being on Lenegis is true, then maybe you really did meet Xion. After all, you said you recognized her from somewhere, right?
But Xion said she'd never seen him before. How do you explain that?
I was wrong. It wasn't Xion I knew from Lenegis. It was Naori. She was a Renin maiden they paired me with during the spirit channeling ceremony. She's the woman I kept seeing in my dreams.
A maiden? What?
Wait, so this Naori figure just happens to be the double of Xion? Bit coincidental, isn't it?
Naori's family name was Imeris.
Imeris? As in Xion Imeris?
So they're distant relatives or something? Wait, or are they sisters?
Your guess is as good as mine. All I know is it was Naori. She's the one who put the mask on me.
The mask? But why?
To keep my soul from devouring itself over the guilt. After what I did on Lenegis. Over the lives I took.
Lives? You mean you staged a rebellion?
Perhaps it was a part of this spirit channeling ceremony?
I don't know. Whatever it was that the spirit channeling ceremony was supposed to achieve, it didn't turn out as planned. I lost consciousness halfway through. By the time I came to, Lenegis was a sea of flames. I opened my eyes to see Naori there, weeping. I shudder to think of how many deaths I caused that day. Certainly more than any of these lords can claim, I'm sure.
You really expect us to believe this? First the Sovereign, then Lenegis? You couldn't possibly have done all that.
I wonder. In ancient scripture, there is tell of a terrible calamity that befell Lenegis, nearly destroying it. The restoration took years, and required the work of countless laborers.
By ancient, you mean...
It predates the crown contest, to a time before even the first Renin invasion of Dana. More than 300 years ago.
300? But that'd make Alphen...
That's right. I'm pretty much an antique of a human being. Deep down, maybe I already knew.
Alphen...
Some hero, huh? Cooperating with the same villains who snatched me from my home, committing mass slaughter, only for it to slip my mind. Then when I finally remember, turns out I'm so old I've got scripture written about me. So much for standing up to injustice. I've probably got more blood on my hands than all the lords combined!
Alphen, stop! Honestly, I'm not going to pretend to understand what all this means. But what I do know is that right now, you're just reacting to the shock.
Sara.
Listen. What you really need is time. Time to process things and get your head straight. Truth be told, I think that probably goes for all of us.
What about Shion? We can't just...
I'm worried about Shion too, Law. But it's clear that Alphen's in no fit state to fight. This is Volron, remember? Even at full capacity, it's practically a suicide mission. We stay put in the village till we're ready. Okay, everyone? Take some time to think things through, okay? But remember, we're all here for you if you need us. No matter how dark things might seem, you're not alone, Alphen.
Thank you.
It's fine. All right, everyone. Let's break for now.
Do I even have the right to fight? Do I have the right to go to Shion's rescue? What do the others think? What do you see out there?
Zeugles. Strays by the looks of it. We unwittingly disturbed their territory on our way here, and now they're looking pretty riled up. So, feel like you're making headway? You know, sorting through things?
All I know is Shion needs our help. As for what happens after that...
Say, how did you get back down here from Lenegis, anyway?
I came down in a Renan starship. I have Naori to thank for that.
What happened to her? Did she come with you?
She stayed behind. Just as I wanted to get back to Dana and my people, Naori's place was with her fellow Renans, performing her duties as the Maiden. Neither of us asked for the power or roles we were given. I suppose we felt a kinship with each other in that sense. But even then...
Wait, so you mean it wasn't just Danans like you that Lenegis abducted? You're saying they forced Naori, one of their own, to serve against her will as well?
Even within Renan society itself, there exists a hierarchy. I don't think she was ever given the option to refuse. Despite that, she did everything she possibly could to serve her people. The very same ones I ended up slaughtering. And even after that, she still helped me escape back to Dana. She stayed behind on Lenegis to help any of her people who survived. I owe her more than words can express. A debt left to fester for what? 300 years? How do I even begin to make up for something like that?
In all honesty, you don't. You can't atone for what's happened in the past. I don't think anyone can. Be it several centuries ago, or just yesterday.
What are you saying? That I might as well give up?
I'm saying you don't have to be a white knight in shining armor. Back after my brother had passed away, it was you who told me that his dream lived on inside me. And you did the same for him, for Dohalim, when he was ready to give up too. You were there for both of us. You know what I heard? I heard you telling me to keep fighting, to strive no matter what.
Then I was out of line. I had no right to ask that of you.
No, you're wrong. Those words were exactly what I needed to hear at the time. In fact, I would go as far as to say that I wouldn't even be here had I not heard them. Left to my own devices, who knows when I would have been able to pick myself up. Besides, it's not like killing all those people was a choice that you made of your own free will, right? The truly terrible ones are the people who abducted you. The ones who forced you to wield that power. They're the ones you should be blaming. Not only that, but that guilt you feel inside, that's all the proof you need to know you're a good person, Alphen. Do you understand? If I'm still allowed to fight and keep on living, then damn it, Alphen, so the hell are you. But, if you're still not convinced, then ask yourself this. What is it that you've really been fighting for this whole time? Go on, ask yourself.
What I've been fighting for, huh?
You're certainly full of surprises, aren't you?
Trust me, it's not intentional.
Sorry, that was insensitive of me. Though, there's still an awful lot I wish I could understand. Every new piece of information seems only to yield further mysteries. The truth feels just as elusive as when we first started. I am well aware of where you got your powers. But why, as a Dahnan, do you bear the same crest as the current Renan sovereign? More to the point, why choose a Dahnan for their sovereign in the first place? And then there is the Maiden, a figure so powerful, she's playing yin to the sovereign's yang in esoteric ceremonies. And yet, I've never even heard of her. Then again, This all occurred 300 years ago. What if the term sovereign doesn't even hold the same meaning as it did back then? Listen, I may be a traitor among my people, but I am still Renan, born and raised. I learned the same history, listened rapt to the same tales. And yet now I feel like there was little truth to any of it.
Speaking of which, there's something else that I remember from the spirit channeling ceremony. It used the Renis Alma.
You're certain?
Yes. Or at least that's what they called it. Only you would know if it was one and the same.
Oh, I have never laid eyes on the real artifact myself. And you never participated in a crown contest. You're not even Renan. Many mysteries lay buried in these 3 centuries past.
3 centuries is more than several lifetimes. Was I really out that long?
Well, I'm only estimating based on historical record. But all the facts would seem to point that way.
Who the hell am I?
If I may be frank, we have even bigger fish to fry than that. By comparison, the far more important question at hand is, just what does it all mean?
Frank, huh?
Sometimes, we need a little help in addressing the truth behind our pain. Not to compete over lives lost, but I suspect your count is still somewhat beneath mine.
Thanks for lending me an ear. And sorry for being a bother.
Please, no thanks are necessary. The quicker you get back on your feet, the sooner we can all get back out there.
All this time, I thought it was the worrying about Xion and the pain bringing you down. I didn't realize you were lonely too.
I guess all of us are. In one way or another.
Yeah, but you've only just found out. I mean, no, not found out. Remembered.
To tell you the truth, I was actually beginning to forget I'd even lost my memory in the first place. Now that it's returned, well, you can see what I'm like. It's strange. When I think about Lenegus, it still feels like it was only a year or 2 ago that I was there. But then I realized what feels like years was actually centuries ago.
What about your hometown? Do you know if it's still there?
I doubt it. When the Renans invaded, the world as I knew it changed overnight. Even if the place is still there physically, I expect the people will be long gone. Certainly everyone I knew, at least. My family, my friends.
Yeah, I know how that feels. I have no home to return to either. No family waiting for me. I used to curse my bad luck that I'd ever been born a mage in the first place. Otherwise, if I hadn't, maybe my mother and father would still be alive today. Although if that had been the case, I guess I'd probably still be just another slave with no means to resist. I'd never have met up with you guys, that's for sure.
Have you learned to embrace your powers yet?
Nuh-uh. I resent them a little less than before, though. They've kept me alive this long, right? I try not to think about it too much. After all, who can predict what the future will hold? I guess what I'm trying to say is that with everything that's happened in your past, finding out you're the Sovereign and all, it's no wonder you're conflicted. Heck, honestly, I think anyone would be.
Rinwell.
First it was Xion, then it was me, and now it's you. All of us suffering, just because of some power we never even asked for.
Yeah. All this time you were suffering right in front of me, and I never even knew. I feel like I finally understand what you and Xion were going through.
You couldn't have known. Still, if you want to make it up to her, shouldn't we hurry it up and rescue her already? Poor Xion must be lonely, all by herself wherever she is.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get going.
Alphen, are we gonna go rescue Shion or what? What's gotten into you, man? Aren't you worried about her?
Do I even have any right to be?
If you were in my place, you'd say, to hell with all that. What do you want to do?
Sounds like me. Pretending I have all the answers is kind of my forte.
Come on, man, snap out of it. This isn't like you. Look, I get it. You finally remember your past, only to feel like you've lost yourself again. You're in shock, and who wouldn't be? Worse still, you blame yourself for what happened. And yeah, I don't agree, but that doesn't mean I don't understand either. But here's the thing. None of that's got anything to do with Shion.
I guess.
It's about Naori, isn't it? Look, you're still here, aren't you? Who's to say this chick isn't alive and kicking out there somewhere, too? Fine, I've said my piece. The thing is, though, where does this leave Shion?
My power consumed me once already. I left behind a path of fire and destruction. And the same thing could happen again. I can't guarantee anyone's safety, including Shion's.
So you think we might get burned up because of your sovereign powers? I can think of worse ways to go. Come on, fight this thing! What happened to the guy who talked to me after my dad died? The one who cared enough to reach out and save me? That's the guy I was proud to follow. Not this faltering imposter who's taken his place.
Law.
No, I'm serious. What's gotten into you, man? Just give me the word and I'll beat some sense into you if that's what it takes. Now, I'm gonna ask you this once and only once. Are you serious about rescuing Shion or not? What's it gonna be, Alphen?
What do you think? Of course I want to rescue her. Hell, I'd do it right now if I could.
So then quit griping and do it already!
Listen, you're probably right about all this.
Alphen.
It's exactly like you said. Whatever happened in my past has nothing to do with Shion. But there's still so much that There I go again. So much for the inspiring Alphen of old.
He could be a pain sometimes. Besides, even a hero has to let the cracks show once in a while, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Just give me a little more time to fill in the cracks. And thanks, Law.
Hey, don't even mention it. You've totally got this, Alphen. I believe in you.
Back to the inn, I guess.
There you are!
What is it?
Zeugles, that's what! They're almost at the village gates!
Any closer and they'll be house hunting. I knew we shouldn't have cut through their territory.
That sounds bad.
Can you fight? No shame in bowing out if you're not up for it.
Kisara's right. You don't want to go overdoing it.
I'm up for it.
Really?
You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. It's now or never, right?
Alphen, right! Great to have you back! Now let's do this!
Look sharp, people. If we don't act fast, they're going to get into the village.
Right. We need to hurry. Not this way, I guess.
Remember, if the pain's too much,
We've all got our own pain to deal with. I'm done letting others pick up my slack.
Here they come! We can't let even a single one through!
There's a firm no-zoogle policy.
Fine by me. Let's get to work then.
You're finished!
Celestial Hammer! If it hides, just smash it out again!
It's on!
Now you see what I can do. I'm on
Astral art?
That's my cue!
Take this! Shut him down!
More where that came from!
Here it comes. I'll finish you here and now.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah,
Try
and
harder.
pummeling to me.
Eat dirt!
I'll be saving
Dragon Swarm! Prepare to be... It's almost too strong!
Then I'll split it open.
Be my guest! In an instant! Impact Block!
Alphen, you okay?
I'm fine. This pain thing really hurts, huh?
But hey, at least you're still alive.
It wouldn't be called pain if it was pleasant. It can be pretty useful, though. It's good motivation to improve and get stronger.
Guess I've got a lot of room to improve in that regard.
Anyway, I'm glad we could protect the village, especially after everything they've done for us.
Yeah.
you know, Thistleum kind of reminds me of home. The people here have hidden themselves away out of the fear of being found, always watching their backs. Though in the end, home was destroyed anyway.
That won't happen here.
Oh? Is that a hint of fighting spirit I sense?
Yeah. I won't lie. Some of these memories will take a while to process. But I've learned something too. My rage, this fury I feel at our so-called rulers, it comes from having so much of myself stripped away from me back then. Friends, family, home, they took everything from me and left me with nothing but guilt. I was completely alone. At least that's what I thought. But not anymore. Since I awakened, I've met people who I care about. Friends who hold me up. Friends who make me feel like I'm worth something. And I won't lose that. Not ever again. I'll protect those bonds with everything I have. That's why I need to keep fighting.
But Xion comes first.
Of course. First we rescue Xion, then we defeat Volron and liberate Dana. Everyone, will you fight with me?
Say the word and I'm there.
Certainly no objections.
Then it's agreed. Our next stop will be the capital, Pelegion. According to the villagers, there's a huge cliff separating Thistleum from the capital. Luckily for us, there's a path we can use to climb up.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
We don't know what lies ahead. We should prepare well before we venture forth.
Yeah, can't exactly fight at the top of your game when you're hungry.
Good point. Let's stop by the inn and plan our next move. from there. By the way, how is Mahavar doing? Wait, don't tell me we still haven't found him.
It's not like we haven't been looking. I've covered the whole length and breadth of the coast, but...
All of the other crew members are accounted for, including us. But we weren't able to find Mahavar. He's still missing.
I see.
Perhaps he couldn't bring himself to abandon the ship.
You mean at the bottom of the ocean? Damn it.
We don't know that it sank. We all washed up on the same shore. If the ship went down, isn't it strange we haven't come across a single piece of debris?
Do you think he might still be alive somewhere out there?
I think stranger things have happened. Whether he's alive or otherwise, we've exhausted all the avenues available to us. All we can do now is press on ahead.
Fine, let's get going. Thistlein was founded by Danans fleeing the tyranny of Renan lords, right? But when you first came, they must have known Dohalim was Renan. So why do you think they let us in?
They almost didn't. But it wasn't just Dohalim they were wary of. They didn't trust any of us.
Even the weird Danans just like them?
When you live life in constant fear of being pursued, it's only a matter of time before all outsiders start to seem a potential threat.
I suppose that makes sense. So how did you convince them to trust us?
You saw how destitute the village was. They needed food, badly. We hunted some Zeugles for them. That seemed to do the trick.
Of course, a little magic-assisted roast didn't hurt things.
Never underestimate a full stomach's ability to put a person at ease. It turns out a hearty meal can be a powerful weapon. Something's on your mind. You having second thoughts about rescuing Shion?
Of course not. Shion's our friend. Almeidrea was the one I hated. For as long as I can remember, she served as a symbol to me of everything Renan. But ever since getting to know Shion, I realized it doesn't make sense to group people together like that. Every individual is different.
I see.
Besides, the situation with Almeidrea was something else entirely. I'd already decided I wasn't going to kill her, but when I saw her die right in front of me, a part of me thought it served her right, that she'd gotten what she deserved. But another part regretted that someone else had come along and killed her instead. Don't get me wrong. If I had the chance again, I still wouldn't kill her. But it's not like I'll be shedding any tears now that she's gone. It's all so confusing. I don't know how to make sense of any of it.
Who said it had to make sense?
Huh?
Rinwell, you've done nothing wrong. You've started to question the beliefs you've held all your life. It's only natural for you to feel disoriented. You didn't give in to the hatred you felt for Almeidrea. You made a choice not to kill her. And that's significant, whether you realize it or not. As for what it means exactly, that might be worth taking some time to figure out on your own.
Some time.
Or don't, if you don't want to. It's just an idea. I'm still searching too, remember?
No, I think you're right. It can't hurt to keep searching after all. And hey, thanks, Kisara.
Okay.
Why?
Ugh. Damn it.
What?
Is that so?
Okay.
Great job.
I'll teach these small fry who's the apex predator of these waters! Just watch and see.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
I guess we're having fish for dinner tonight.